maybe I didn't hold you.
A negative thought will kill you. So if you're even thinking negative, you've got to change that first. We all go through periods.
93 years old, Willie Nelson is still walking a journey with no ending in sight. A boy who grew up in poverty, forced to make a living from a young age, with a guitar in his hands. A legend who once faced the IRS, had assets worth millions of US dollars seized because of massive tax debt. The greatest paradox is this: Willie Nelson once stood on the grandest stage, lifting Grammy Awards, a peak every artist dreams of. But even the bright lights of the Grammys could not erase the trials, the scandals, and the financial shadows that once threatened both his career and personal life. Behind the spotlight of Willie Nelson are shocking secrets that stunned the public. Let's explore the lavish life and hidden sides of a once-in-a-lifetime icon, Willie Nelson. The tragedy of Willie Nelson began as early as his childhood. Born on April 29, 1933 in Abbott, Texas, Willie Nelson did not grow up in comfort, but in the absence of both parents, forced to live with his grandparents from a young age. That lack of stability quickly shaped a childhood with few options beyond self-reliance. At age 6, his grandfather gave Willie his first guitar and taught him basic chords, not as a luxury gift, but as a tool to hold on to and grow from. By age 7, the boy had already written his first song, and just 2 years later, he began performing with local bands, earning his first money from music. But music was not the only path. While attending Abbott High School, Willie had to divide his time among many responsibilities, playing sports for opportunities, working in agriculture to sustain life from raising pigs, to participating in Future Farmers of America activities. At the same time, he played guitar and sang with the band, the Texans, performing at honky-tonk bars and on local radio programs every Sunday morning. It was not just passion, but a way to survive. After graduating in 1952, Willie tried his hand in the Air Force but did not stay long. He continued studying agriculture at Baylor University, but real life quickly pulled him out of the classroom. After 2 years, he dropped out, not out of impulse, but because there was no other choice. To support himself, Willie worked a variety of jobs: saddle maker, tree trimmer, security guard, auto parts, store clerk. Every job was physically demanding, but those years also forged his resilience and discipline. Nashville turning point, a journey of glory, marked by tears. Willie Nelson's early steps in music were far from smooth. When he began recording at a small radio station in Texas in 1955, his first songs failed to make an impact and were repeatedly rejected by local record labels. Instead of stopping, he chose to keep moving across states, working at various radio stations and nightclubs to both make a living and gain experience. This period had no spotlight, but it became a crucial foundation that helped him understand the market and his audience. During his time in Portland, he wrote songs that would later become classics, such as Funny How Time Slips Away and Crazy, which was successfully performed by Patsy Cline. In 1960, Willie moved to Nashville, where the real turning point came, as he signed a publishing deal and released the album And Then I Wrote. Not only a performer, he quickly established himself as one of the leading songwriters in country music. By 1965, joining the Grand Ole Opry elevated his name to a new level. While many artists of his time followed the Nashville mold, Willie chose his own path with the outlaw country style. This difference made him stand out among major names, like Johnny Cash, Waylon Jennings, and Chris Christopherson. The 1970s saw a series of outstanding successes, with albums Shotgun Willie, Red-Headed Stranger, and Stardust, which not only sold well, but also reshaped modern country music. While many artists succeeded through their vocals, Willie stood out for his songwriting ability and distinct identity. He did not follow trends, but created his own. By the 1980s, he further strengthened his position with iconic songs like On the Road Again and To All the Girls I've Loved Before. The formation of the Highwaymen with those legends was not just a collaboration, but a statement of his status in the industry. Even in his later years, Willie has maintained remarkable productivity. During the 2020 pandemic, he organized online performances that raised more than $700,000 for the community. Recent albums, such as The Willie Nelson Family, A Beautiful Time, and I Don't Know a Thing About Love, have continued to earn nominations and Grammy wins. In 2023, he was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, marking recognition at the highest level. Beyond music, he has also acted in films, written books, and pursued social causes. Legal controversies have not slowed his journey. From someone who once struggled through multiple small jobs, he rose to become a lasting icon in American music. Compared to his peers, Willie's success comes not only from talent, but from rare persistence. He built his career over decades and maintained a unique place in the hearts of global audiences. That is why his name is still mentioned as a standard. Fame, wealth, and lifestyle. The style of a gentleman. The 1990s marked a powerful rise of outlaw country on the charts. And in that era, Willie Nelson was not just an artist, but a living symbol of the genre. With every album release or hit song, his reputation and influence continued to grow, placing him among American music legends alongside major names like Johnny Cash, Waylon Jennings, and Chris Christopherson. His success was not only measured by awards or album sales, but by his ability to sustain a long-lasting career over decades. While many of his peers gradually left the stage, Willie continued to create and maintain his unique style. The 1990s also saw him collaborating with younger artists, reinforcing his position while inspiring a new generation. Each project and recording highlighted his refined song selection arrangement and unmistakable voice. As a result, Willie Nelson became a model of endurance talent and long-term influence regarded on par with other international legends of the same era. Beyond music, his personal life and assets also reflect refinement and smart choices. Willie Nelson's lakeside home, located along the southern shore of Lake Travis, Texas, spans 2,150 acres, clearly reflecting a lifestyle that is both close to nature and equipped with modern comfort. The property stands out with its open landscape, where the lake embraces rolling hills and mature oak trees. Water access is ensured with a private dock and lift system, allowing boats to move easily, while traditional stairs remain as an additional option. All these details show attention to practicality and mobility throughout the estate. From the outside, the house presents a simple yet elegant look with clean white walls, contrasted by black steel window frames reflecting the surrounding lake and sky. A wide deck wraps around the main floor, creating an outdoor relaxation space where every angle becomes an opportunity to enjoy nature. The enclosed backyard ensures privacy, while maintaining a connection with the surrounding landscape. And the layout of pathways and native grass creates perfect harmony. Inside, natural light floods through large windows onto wide wooden floors, while the kitchen, equipped with KitchenAid stainless steel appliances and quartz countertops, balances elegance and daily functionality. The dining and living areas remain open, allowing the lake view to flow into the interior, creating a close connection with nature. A workspace facing the water offers a quiet corner, with panoramic views of the lake greenery and distant hills, blending openness with intimacy. The master bedroom features large windows and a spacious private bathroom, where Willie sometimes sits overlooking the lake, while details like the walk-in shower sinks and refined storage reflect attention to detail. Other bedrooms and living spaces continue the minimalist style with subtle personal touches, while the two-car garage is flexibly upgraded while maintaining its original function. Indoor and outdoor spaces are seamlessly connected through decks, patios, and pathways, allowing Willie to move naturally, reflecting a balanced aesthetic between practicality and elegance, while respecting the Lake Travis landscape, and privacy, embodying the true style of a gentleman of American music. Even at the peak of fame, Willie Nelson has never turned away from his Texas roots in country music. For him, cars are not tools for showing off wealth, but vehicles that serve life and music. And his car collection is where his practical, refined, and nature-loving style is most clearly expressed. A notorious car collection. In addition, Willie Nelson's car collection also reflects his lifestyle. The Tesla Model S is his choice for modern efficiency, quietness, and comfort-serving travel between performances, recording sessions, and private meetings. The Chevrolet CK series handles heavy trips, rural roads, and equipment transport, emphasizing durability and practicality. When the goal is relaxation or scenic driving, the Lincoln Continental convertible is the perfect choice with its spacious, classic, and comfortable design. Efficiency in Tesla, strength in Chevrolet, comfort in Lincoln, all shaping Willie Nelson's rhythm of life from work to enjoyment. But family tragedy began to take root from Willie Nelson's own wealth. The IRS tax debt case, $32 million. Willie Nelson is one of the living legends of American music, but his career and financial path have never been smooth. At present, Nelson's total net worth is estimated at around $25 million, drawn from many sources: income from music, live performances, royalties from classic songs, personal branded merchandise, and valuable real estate. His home in Spicewood, Texas, is worth about $3.9 million, while Lucky Ranch, spread across 700 acres with more than 70 rescue horses, serves as both a residence and a long-term investment asset. Other properties, such as Peter Nally's Country Club and the vacation home in Maui, purchased in 1983 for $450,000, also play an important role in maintaining his financial stability. Even so, Nelson's career has not escaped challenges, the most notable being his tax debt case. With the Internal Revenue Service (IRS) in 1991 of the biggest financial scandals of his life. The case began when the IRS declared that Willie Nelson owed $32 million in unpaid taxes. That figure included personal income tax, business tax, and interest penalties accumulated over many years. The announcement from the IRS immediately shocked the media and fans because Nelson at the time was at the height of his fame and still maintaining a steady music career. As a result, the agency moved to seize his assets to cover the enormous debt. The seized assets included cars, antiques, music equipment, instruments, rights to some works, and real estate, pushing Nelson into a position where he had almost lost all of his personal property. The course of the case showed Willie Nelson's resilience and creativity. Instead of becoming discouraged or surrendering under the pressure, he quickly found ways to repay the debt and rebuild his financial life. One of his most famous moves was recording and releasing the album, The IRS Tapes Who'll Buy My Memories. The album was designed to be sold in order to pay off the tax debt, turning a deeply difficult financial story into a creative opportunity. The album received major attention from the public and the media, helping Nelson both maintain his image as an artist and resolve part of the debt. At the same time, he continued touring, signing performance contracts, and drawing income from classic songs such as On the Road Again, Always on My Mind, and Blue Eyes, Crying in the Rain, to create a steady revenue stream, gradually making up for the massive debt. This process was not easy at all. He had to consider selling assets, manage cash flow from different sources of income, and maintain his music career in order to keep his place in the hearts of fans. However, it was exactly his creativity in handling the financial crisis that became living proof of Nelson's resilience. The case with the IRS also allowed audiences to see another side of the legend, not only a gifted artist, but also a man who knew how to turn the situation around with intelligence and determination. When the stressful years with the IRS came to an end, Nelson had impressively rebuilt both his career and his personal wealth. Properties such as Lucky Ranch, the Spicewood home, and other investment assets became a stable foundation, allowing him to continue living in a free-spirited way, closely tied to music community and personal projects. From that point on, Willie Nelson not only overcame an enormous financial scandal, but also strengthened his image as a resilient, creative, and vibrant artist. Audiences and the media still mention the $32 million tax debt as a major turning point in his life, and also as proof of his extraordinary ability to recover, turning crisis into an inspiring story. To many people, this scandal shows that even legends must face brutal challenges. But Willie Nelson proved that creativity, patience, and the right strategy can help a person overcome any hardship. The image of Nelson standing on stage, still holding his guitar, still singing, still maintaining his free-spirited lifestyle, after facing the IRS, became a living symbol of the power of will and the ability to recover. Not only his music, but the story of his finances and the way he handled crisis became part of his legacy, leaving a lesson for many later generations of artists. This event also highlights one of the most striking traits in Willie Nelson's life. He does not fear hardship. He does not shy away from challenges, and he always finds a way to turn danger into opportunity. From a massive tax debt that seemed ready to destroy everything, he rebuilt his career, stabilized his finances, and continued expanding his influence across many fields, from music to real estate and community projects. This is why when people mention Willie Nelson, audiences remember not only classic songs or his easygoing lifestyle, but also an artist who faced the biggest financial crisis of his life and overcame it with extraordinary intelligence and determination. Through the IRS tax debt case, Willie Nelson proved that even in hardship, art and creativity are always a path to sustaining both career and reputation. He not only recovered financially, but also reinforced his legendary status, becoming a model for those who want to live independently, resiliently, and creatively in any circumstance. A long spiral of addiction. Willie Nelson is not only a music icon, but also famous for his easygoing lifestyle and strong personal views, especially his support for marijuana legalization. That position caused him to run into legal trouble many times, turning his arrests into an inseparable part of his life story. One of the most notable incidents took place in 1974 in Bandera, Texas, when police discovered marijuana in his car. The case pushed the press to focus on Nelson, placing him on the list of artists seen as outside the law, yet at the same time, the public still loved and supported him. That arrest was only the beginning of a chain of events lasting many years, connected to marijuana use, linking Nelson's name with the image of an artist unafraid to go against the crowd in defense of his beliefs. Throughout the decades that followed, Nelson repeatedly faced similar arrests in many different states, from Texas and Oklahoma to California. Each arrest was widely covered by the media at times, drawing harsh criticism from part of the public who believed he had no respect for the law. However, most fans viewed these incidents as part of the independent lifestyle and rebellious culture that outlaw country music stood for. The arrests often ended in fines or out-of-court agreements, helping Nelson avoid jail while still holding on to his personal stance. These details not only reinforced the image of a steadfast artist, but also created a living cultural symbol, where music and personal lifestyle blended into one. This chain of events affected not only Nelson's image, but also directly impacted his personal life and health. Being repeatedly searched, arrested, and processed created psychological pressure and prolonged stress at times, forcing him to cancel performances or limit his involvement in musical activities. Even so, Nelson maintained an impressive performance standard, proving his ability to endure and manage personal pressure. He once shared that these incidents difficult, as they were helped him understand his own limits and remain committed to the values he believed in, from personal freedom to maintaining honest music. Nelson's wealth and reputation were also affected by these scandals. The arrests, combined with legal costs and monetary penalties, forced him to reconsider the way he managed his finances and performance schedule. However, he continued investing in real estate ranches and personal projects, creating a strong enough network of assets to maintain a stable economic position. Audiences saw an artist who not only overcame legal pressure, but also knew how to use difficult situations to strengthen his personal brand and increase the value of his career. That consistency helped him maintain long-term credibility, despite the gossip and criticism from the media or some parts of public opinion. One important point is that this downward spiral was not limited to the law, but was also tied to the rebellious culture of outlaw country music. Nelson became a symbol of a free lifestyle of daring to say no to harsh social standards, while also showing the close connection between music and the way one lives. His songs with themes of freedom, life outside the law, and individual rights became more vivid when audiences knew that their artist also practiced those values in real life. That is why, even though Nelson was arrested many times, he still received strong support from fans, and many even saw him as a symbol of courage and individuality. Although the chain of marijuana-related events put pressure on his health and finances, Nelson still maintained excellent performing ability and continuous musical activity. He knew how to balance personal life work and legal obligations, using music as a tool both to relieve stress and to create stable income. This proves an extraordinary ability to manage crisis-turning scandals that seemed likely to damage his reputation into opportunities to reinforce his personal image. Beyond the legal and health side, this long spiral also left a lasting cultural mark. Willie Nelson is not only a country music artist, but also a symbol of the movement supporting marijuana legalization, helping open a broader debate about personal freedom and drug policy in America. Later generations of artists look to Nelson as a model of consistency, creativity, and the courage to stand up for one's beliefs. He proved that maintaining a personal stance, even while facing legal pressure, can go hand in hand with a successful career and lasting fame. The long spiral of addiction and the marijuana-related arrests therefore became an inseparable part of Nelson's journey. It reflects the contrast between legal pressure and personal culture, between public opinion and support from fans, while also highlighting the image of an artist who is free, resilient, and loyal to both his music and his way of life. Even though he lost assets, suffered health pressure, and at times had to face public criticism, Willie Nelson still held his composure, continued performing, managed his assets and personal projects, and confirmed his status as a living legend in American music and outlaw country culture. Charitable work. Willie Nelson is not only famous for his music, but is also widely known for his steady charitable work, reflecting a life philosophy closely tied to his personal values. In 1985, he co-founded Farm Aid, a fundraising organization created to support American farmers facing economic hardship. From then until now, Farm Aid has become one of the longest-running and most respected charity projects, raising more than $1.2 million and helping thousands of farm families maintain production and stabilize their lives. Nelson has always used his influence appearing on stage and taking part in programs and concerts to make sure the charity fund is used effectively, while also inspiring the community about social responsibility. Alongside supporting farmers through Farm Aid, Nelson has also directly helped farming households affected by natural disasters. He contributed about $300,000 to help people rebuild after hurricanes, droughts, and floods, showing practical and lasting concern for hardworking people. These contributions carry not only economic meaning, but also strengthen trust and community spirit in difficult times, proving that music and compassion can work side by side to create real change. Willie Nelson has also shown special concern for animal rights. He regularly supports Best Friends Animal Society, contributing about $150,000 to rescue care and protection efforts for animals. His involvement does not stop at financial support, but also includes raising public awareness about animal rights, encouraging the movement to protect and care for animals in a humane way. This is an important part of his chain of charitable work, showing Nelson's broader vision of responsibility toward the natural world and the life around him. Beyond those areas, Nelson has also actively taken part in many other charitable efforts, including telethons and fundraising events, contributing a total of about $200,000 to support communities in hardship. He also places importance on education and the development of younger generations, investing about $100,000 in music classes, workshops, and career guidance programs to encourage creativity and discipline. In addition, Nelson cares about the environment, contributing another $100,000 to renewable energy projects and educational efforts about protecting nature, showing a long-term commitment to sustainable values and community awareness. Overall, Willie Nelson's charitable work has always been steady and strategic, not limited to short-term action, but closely tied to his life philosophy and personal values. He does not see music only as entertainment, but also as a way to create positive impact, spread energy, and inspire many generations. Even though he is famous, wealthy, and busy with his career, Nelson always makes time and uses his resources to give back, proving that an artist can be both successful and socially responsible. It is exactly this steady spirit of giving tied closely to his personal values that has helped Willie Nelson become an icon, not only in music, but also in the hearts of the public. Every contribution and every charity project he joins reflects long-term commitment from farmers and animals to education and the environment. Because of that, fans and the community see not only a talented artist, but also a determined man who knows how to use fame, influence, and money to bring practical and lasting value to society. Nelson proves that fame comes with responsibility, and sincere giving is an important part of shaping his legacy. Willie Nelson's charitable work is vivid proof of a life philosophy built on creativity, consistency, and giving. By maintaining ongoing and diverse projects, he has not only created immediate impact, but also built a deeply human legacy, where music, compassion, and social responsibility blend into a lasting whole that inspires future generations. Personal life. At age 93. At age 93, Willie Nelson still maintains a busy but fulfilling rhythm of life, combining work music and enjoyment of life. He continues to perform mostly on stages across Texas, where audiences always welcome him and stay closely connected to his music. Alongside that, Nelson manages Lucky Ranch, taking care of the land, the horses, and community activities, making sure the place is both a home and a center that connects family and friends. His passion for music has never faded, and he still writes songs, records, and maintains close relationships with colleagues and younger generations of artists. Beyond music, Willie Nelson has also developed his own brand, Willie's Remedy, focused on natural beverage products. This business does not only reflect his creativity and business vision, but also allows him to combine personal passion with the ability to create lasting value. Nelson's brand, much like the man himself, is both simple and refined, closely tied to a healthy lifestyle, while also expressing freedom and an independent personality. In family life, Willie has gone through 4 marriages, and each relationship left its own mark without breaking his bond with his children. Lucas Nelson, his son with his last wife, carries on the musical tradition, leading the band, Lucas Nelson and Promise of the Real, bringing together country rock and modern influences. The relationship between father and son remains a source of inspiration, while also helping preserve Nelson's musical legacy and connect generations of music lovers. Willie Nelson's lifestyle has always centered on balance between work music and enjoying life. He places freedom, creativity, and connection at the top, while maintaining a way of life that is simple yet refined. Each day reflects a deliberate way of living, performing when he wants to, caring for family when needed, enjoying nature, and connecting with the community when the time is right. This is clear proof of the life philosophy he has followed all along. Age is not a barrier to passion and creativity. Willie Nelson's life is a journey of passion, persistence, and personal identity. He proves that age does not limit creative ability or the joy of living. Even at 93, Nelson still inspires every generation by living fully actively and with constant dedication. Viewers, when learning about him, can feel the power of freedom, a steady spirit, and connection with the community. Nelson's journey also opens the door to stories about other music legends, reminding us that every person can leave a unique mark through passion, creativity, and a life fully lived.
We might talk about some public figures, companies, or social events today, but please note that we are just exploring these topics. Nothing said should be taken as a personal accusation or a judgment. Who should we cover next? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to join our community and stay updated on all things Hollywood. Catch you in the next episode.